Hi, good morning. It's almost 12 noon here. It's actually the 12th of March. It's a Thursday, and today is a pretty relaxed one for me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Carolina Tan, and I actually hold the double profession. I'm an image consultant and also a real estate broker. So I don't know who among you here are live out there, but nevertheless, I look forward chatting with you today. I was thinking, since we have been reading, watching, and certainly are aware of the news that's been happening nowadays, for the past weeks, if not at least a month or so, from the original outbreak to now epidemic and now a global pandemic. I'm sure all of us have experienced like the feeling of stress one way or the other. So today, I've actually entitled our simple chat as self-care as an antidote for stress. Well, first of all, feel free to comment, of course, and I'll be happy to greet you here as well and to hear your insights. For us, if we actually look at the dictionary meaning of stress, it's actually a feeling of tension wherein we feel it emotionally and mentally, and this is definitely most apparent, especially when there are adverse circumstances or situations. Of course, no one wants to feel pretty much not in the know, and the feeling of fear is just simply, it can be overwhelming, I would say. So I don't know about you, but in my case, of course, there are many things going on. Situations such as, example, as an image consultant, clients, there had been clients, actually, I won't go far, just yesterday, who called me and said we may have to move to a later date, like 2 months down the line at the very least. And of course, they just want to have the assurance that as an image consultant, I'll be available for them as well. So I said, of course, that's subject to mutual agreement. And of course, I'm here for our clients, whether individuals, groups, or corporates at that. And definitely, especially once the modules are made, I personally look forward meeting everyone and being of service. So today's self-care as an antidote for stress, I believe, to keep it simple, we may actually break it down to several ways. There are actually what we call coping mechanisms. But then again, let me start with the most fundamental. Not going far, meaning like starting with our physical bodies. How is it when we are actually stressed? How do we feel? Of course, there are sleepless nights. Maybe for some of us, we may want to actually rest, but the mind just keeps on going and going and going. And not only that, sometimes we end up feeling like having tension headaches, and pretty much we get affected. So for me, a simple antidote for this would be, of course, if I can be physically active in terms of exercise or activities, I make sure to devote some time to do just that. Like, for example, if I can exercise like twice or at the most 3 times a week, that would be I'll be very, very thankful for that. And typically, an exercise could be anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes, which includes, of course, stretching exercises, and of course weights training, just to strengthen the body, because I really believe personally, when my body feels strong, when it is healthy and well, then that's the time, and it's an opportunity for me to really be of service, not only to my family, but to those around me, especially, so whether clients, whether colleagues. And who wants to actually be in the company of someone who actually looks frail? So definitely no one wants that. And of course, I've mentioned earlier about sleep. So ideally, for my age right now, being in my 40s, I would say 6 hours is the typical norm. Of course, there are certain days I'd want to doze off more. So sometimes it goes up to 7 hours. And of course, having 8 hours of sleep will already be such a luxury at that. And not only that, staying and making sure that we actually have a healthy body means that we also do our best to choose to eat well. To choose to eat well. So that means choosing healthy kinds of food. Example, the most basic would be fresh fruits and vegetables. I always believe in this principle. If I find it challenging to eat it because of time constraints, I simply just blend it. Because it's always easier to actually gulp something down, blend it, mix your favorite fruits and vegetables, whether in season or the favorite ones, the staple ones you have, and basically just gulp it down. So again, just to recap, I'm Carolina Tan once again, and today I speak to you as an image consultant and also as a real estate broker that, regardless of the work we do, it's very important to stay healthy. So hi for those of you who are listening to us right now. So I don't see your names just yet, but nevertheless, can say if you can actually type in your names, and I'll be more than happy to greet you. Blove, I see Blove, and then who's the other one? Let me see. So that's for the physical part. Number two, what about on the mental part? How can we stay healthy in times of uncertainties, in times when we feel like stressed out? I really believe, of course, it's very important to be tuned into news, and not just any type of news, because there's a lot of fake news going around. It's very important to listen to the right sources. And not only that, if we do not know or may not be familiar with particular topics or the issues that we are presented with, it never helps to actually read more to get to know more of it. Well, nowadays, all of us have been so informed of the ongoing global virus pandemic. So we look forward that in time, it should also subside, and that too should pass. So again, on the mental part of things, we also need to stay healthy and sharp mentally. So make sure to also work it out. And third, I must say, well, for today, let me trim it down to three. We started with physical. Second, we went on to mental. Third, let me end shortly with this, which is the emotional. Of course, when we are stressed, chances are sometimes we end up eating the wrong kinds of food. Sometimes we end up being more anxious. For some of us, we may have a tendency to panic or so. So on the emotional part, this is something I have been practicing. It may sound so simple, but try this out with me. And this has to do with simple breathing, with a simple breathing technique. Imagine for a moment the power of five. The power of five meaning count 1 to 5 silently, and then what you do here is you inhale through your nose. Okay, so let's do this. And then after which, hold it for the next 5. And then exhale with your mouth for the next 5. So it's like breathe, hold, and exhale. So it's like inhale, hold, and exhale. So doing this 5-5-5, helps one to really recharge. Oh, it's Floor. Hi, Floor. I see Floor here, and I certainly miss you. I have not been at the gym at that particular branch of ours. So I look forward catching up with you. Thank you so much for patiently tuning in, Floor. Regards sa'yo at sa lahat dyan. Hi, hi, hi. I miss your beauty and also the excellent talent that you have whenever you go dancing. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So going back to my last point, which is emotional, I'm sure all of you would agree one way or the other. It really helps to talk to someone because we all know no one is an island. No man is an island. So if we are going to be in isolation or seclusion, I think it's going to do much more harm than good. So in times of stress, it helps to talk to someone. And if we happen to be on the receiving end, I think it's going to be the best gift ever if we can just keep an open ear and listen to that person. Because for all you know, that individual could be going through a particular situation, and you being there may be the best gift, and not to mention very timely as well. So sharing how you feel with others helps to straighten out one's perspective. And not only that, if all else fails, there's nothing wrong with actually asking for help. If we need, whether it be needing a company, whether it be, stretching one's time and say, like, why don't you keep me company doing this or that activity? So whether it's a simple gym or eating out or maybe watching a movie. So, all of this and more. So again, today, we have discussed and I've shared with you 3 simple antidotes for stress. And that has to do with the physical part. Second is the mental part, and lastly, third here is the emotional part. So for our next Facebook Live, we can still continue on with 2 more parts, and that has to do with the spiritual part and also lastly with the social part, which I know all of us will be interested with. So again, perhaps to end the day, let me once again share something. Well, for some of us, today may not be the most ideal or the best day there is, but the mere fact that we are here, the mere fact that we are breathing, that we are well, that we woke up this morning, it only goes to show that we have a big and wonderful God who loves and cares. So with that being said, I hope that I'm able to enlighten us here. And by the way, just to mention, if you're wondering where I am seated at, I'm actually here in a beautiful nook at our area. I'm inside the model unit of Park McKinley West here in Taguig. So once again, I'm Carolina Tan. I'm speaking to you as an image consultant and also as a real estate broker. Feel free to reach me at +63 917 854 9887. You can also email us through this address, carol@enhanceyourimage.asia. Thank you so much, and until our next chat, have a blessed day. Keep up the positive vibes. Bye!